Mine is actually the
Plot twist.
plot twist.
Got to wear my glasses today.
All right, let me get all the levels right. Put this very close to your mouth. Not very close.
Very,
Mouth,
very
mouth,
close.
mouth.
Very,
Mouth,
very
mouth,
close.
Mouth,
This is
mouth,
good.
yes, 3,
Like,
5, 6,
why is
7.
yours so
Like, like
'Cause I
how,
made-
how close am I doing?
Wow.
Yeah.
So you could get your posture right.
Oh.
So you could get your posture
Ataraxy
right.
podcast number.
Not feeling so
All
good
right.
with my posture.
Yeah. We're like
Yeah,
good.
say word.
We're number, what is it, 17?
17.
17.
The one you dropped yesterday was 16.
Are we recording?
Today.
Today.
It came out today at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, we are.
It was time as a.
Of course, you think this is the best time to fucking start taking the Snapchats when we talk about social media all the time and how bad it is.
Bro, I'm just doing it for our story,
Dude,
brother.
his followers want to see what he's doing, bro.
No, his followers don't give a fuck.
I don't care.
All right, introduce yourself, bitch.
Oh, is this the part when I
Yeah.
do the whole
Tell me who you is, what you do.
And which brothel you
Who I am.
work for?
Oh, like I work in a couple brothels, bro. Like we gotta be more specific. But I guess who I is Tino. I guess that's a simpler way to say it.
Yeah.
I'm a modeling creative based in Ottawa, Ontario.
Oh my god.
I'm whispering because whispering sounds sexier.
It does. It sounds good in my ears right now.
I know.
I'm like holding back
Can I
my
have
nut.
some?
It's like instant nut.
Can I have some audio files?
Exactly. But
Let me do something funny.
Alright.
Right off the bat, Tino, we have a gift for you right here.
I didn't know I was
We're
gonna get
give
something.
you the war of art. I bought you this Friday because this is a book. I consider it to be my Bible,
Okay.
and I consider it to be the Bible for any artist. This is the first episode actually we talked about
Yeah.
it, the book, and basically, I feel like if you haven't read this, reading it, you're gonna find some cool shit in there. It's very straight to the point. Like he cut all the fat. Like some chapters are like 2 sentences long, and it's a very short read. And
It's not a big book.
it's not too big of a book. I think you're gonna love it.
But it's
an
an
awkward time
important
to tell
book.
people I don't read, right?
Oh,
Ha! Psych, I'm kidding.
Of course you read,
I'll
nigga.
give this a dive. You
I've
know?
heard your songs. Nigga. I know you
Good
read.
God, I think it's a literacy.
This is not. It's more like a choice, bro. Like I just don't read on purpose.
What's it?
No.
Nah, but so you said you model.
Yeah.
You make music too.
Yeah. Music, visual arts. Yeah, it's kind of the basis.
That's how I came. I mean, that's how I got into you. I saw you at the show, the PSA live show, and I was like, man, this guy's kind of cool. Nigga came out in a mask, like covering his
Oh.
face, and then did the first song, and then like a bit into it, he just like took it off more and more. I know you one of the guys that stood out. So then after the show, I was like, okay, I should probably get to know this nigga.
Like, because you came and say what up. I was like,
Yeah, and I
alright,
was like, this
who's
is a cool.
dude?
This was a cool performance, and I fucked with it. But how long have you been like into music? Because you said modeling first. Like, which one do you do like primarily? You would say
music. Yeah,
music.
primarily music and visual art. That's my niche.
Mhm.
It's my pocket. But recently modeling, but I'm not a big fan of that. So
Mhm.
I don't know how long I'm gonna do it. But it's kind of like you dive into it, figure out how if you're gonna do it more or not. So it's like I only
Yeah.
know if I do it. So I do it until I know. But music is a passion.
Yeah.
Visual arts is a passion. So
How long
that's
you
where
been
I'm
into
at.
music? Do you do all the graphics on your Instagram?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, that's pretty
the
good.
visual art side of things.
Okay, that's
so
pretty
like,
good.
I like graphics.
That's tight.
All right.
Because I thought it was just some niggas like doing it like a project
On the
for
side.
Instagram with you. Like you just send them the photos and you send them back. But that's
Nah.
pretty good.
Because the way I do it is kind of like, which people don't know, I try to split the Tino and the anonymous YP to make me as 2 different characters. So Tino is like the individual, my regular persona, my everyday persona,
Yeah.
the model.
Yeah.
And then anonymous YP is the creative, he's the artist, the musician. So that's who's in control of my Instagram page. So I try to make them seem as much as 2 different people as possible.
different
So
things.
people that know me, they're just like, bro, when I go on your Instagram, it's like a whole different dude. And I'm like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be because they're 2 different people.
Yeah.
Anonymous YP is inside, Tino's outside.
You're bringing the art alive. Basically, you're just
Yeah.
like you're taking it like the step forward.
Yeah.
Okay. How long would you say you started making music?
I started with poetry. So that's where the name Anonymous YP came from. So like in high school, I did like anonymous poems. And then eventually that grew into I want to do music instead of poems.
Yeah.
And then that's
Feel like something was missing.
Yeah, I was just like, I feel like if I put a poem on a beat, it's more fire. It's got a little more bump to it and more
Basically
impact.
what it is, yeah.
But I still write. Like I try to write poems every day, and then that's where the penmanship comes from when like it comes to music, because it's
What
like
does YP stand for?
young poet. So there's this chick I dated in high school, and then she used to call me a young poet when she found out I'm the dude doing the anonymous poems in the thing. So then I put them together and became Anonymous YP.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and then that stuck with me forever. I was like, maybe I should change this, but I was like, nah. It is what it is, because it's like the inner child is who you forever be, and that's what Anonymous YP is. He's the inner child. He's like the layer within.
Yeah.
And then that's the creativity that never dies. So
What would
that's
you
why
say
it's
like
all
the
in me.
favorite, like, I mean, I've heard the video, the song from the video dropped. I remember you performed that, so it's familiar.
That's the first time I performed. Yeah,
It's very good.
thank you.
And like, what would you say the I hate asking people that because it's such a stupid question. Would you say the primary like genre / style is? Because I hear a lot of like Kendrick Lamar influence a bit.
Yeah, that's like what used to influence me a lot. But like, I don't know if you remember the second half of the performance was more like vibey, jazzy, bumpy.
Yeah.
That was like all the new shit I'm working on right now. So
You
it's
have a-
kind of like,
You have a little project coming out.
oh yeah. We're not sneaking any dates, but like definitely the next year, not this year.
Next year.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like within me, I shouldn't release anything this year. So that's like, because I'm one song short for that.
Anything
But
for
I'm not
what? Like
releasing it.
singles or just projects?
I got that project, and then I have another secret project on the side as well, because I'm almost done with this one. So I thought, like, fuck it, let me do like 2, right, and then
Let me start the
release
next
them
one.
different, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to finish this one, which is like, I feel like it's more in tune with my sound. So like when you listen to it, you can't really pull out the influences, because it feels like older styles of mine, people could be like, all right, I see the J. Cole influence, I see the Kendrick influence, but then now I'm more into like sound. It's not necessarily, the penmanship is good, but I just want to make
But yeah, it's
vibe.
part of a dual thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not only the lyrics that have to be good. It's
Exactly.
everything else that's included in that.
So I'm like trying to learn how to make music that people can feel instead of like people can listen to, because like rap is good, like you can like educate people as much as you want, but like music that you feel, that shit lives forever. Like your Frank Ocean, your Kid Cudis.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to get to a phase where I make music that's like, it's not even a sound that you can pinpoint. You can't say it's hip hop. You can't say it's
Yeah.
whatever. I just want to make good
It's
shit.
it's like it's like there's a lot of people, even in like any kind of genre, any kind of art form, you could say, like even fashion. It's there's specific people who you see that it feels like they're more focused on the feeling of whatever they're making than whatever else, like genre, like production, lyrics. Like it feels like they're more focused towards a feeling. Like how does that piece of clothing make you feel?
Yeah.
How does that like when you try it on, how do you feel? Like when you listen to the song, how do you feel? Because it's like a nigga like Cardi who doesn't
yeah.
really say anything, and I mean, his whole vibe is still like the trap mumbling shit, but there's a feeling in there that's just like
exactly.
something different about
that just
him.
makes you groove to
There's
it no matter
something.
what.
It's like he uses his voice not necessarily to say thing crazy. Like he can rap. I'm pretty sure he can. I've heard some songs where I'm like, okay, cool. Like this guy, he knows what he's doing. I just think he's willingly not choosing to, because I feel like he's using his voice as like an instrument. It's like
Yeah.
with jazz.
Yeah.
Like there's no words in there, but you still feel like something's being communicated
it's
to
just
you.
the improvisation.
Yeah, it's like the piano is basically the guy's voice. Like he's because the way when I was learning piano, the way I looked up like how do you improvise. I think that's like the coolest thing, when you could just like sit down, you find like, let's say a song or a chord progression, and you're just like, okay, let me just play that and then just riff on it, go wherever I want to go on it. So I was looking for that, and he's like, the way you should do it is like hum it with your voice, because that's the instrument you're born with.
Yeah.
Because like we like, our ears are already trained for whatever music like we like to hear. We know what we want to hear, so we know what note to play next.
Yeah.
So that's why when you're humming, you know where to go. You can basically solo hum right now if you want to, as long as you're not tone deaf.
Right, it's innate.
That's definitely the process I'm going through as
so
well.
the way
like
so
that.
the way you said it is just like do that and then try to follow it with the piano. But to do that, you have to get familiar with the scales so you can know, like, if I go from note A to note E, what it's gonna sound like. So that's just where the practice and the skills come from. But all soloing is just humming with an instrument. You're just humming, like improvising, like just humming. This is what saxophone is. They're basically just humming, but they're processing it through this big ass machinery thing, and then it's just coming out beautiful. It's like one of the most one of the most godly, like holy instruments ever, dude. Like
people sleep on
Just
that.
any
People sleep on
instrument.
that.
people sleep on, but it's very easy to get it, like make it corny, because like a lot of niggas, like they try to use sax to make themselves sound woke.
Yeah.
Just the whole vibe of it is just like, hey, listen, brother.
I think like when it comes to like creatives, like especially musicians, like the problem is like influence. Everybody just wants to listen to what their yes man are telling them to do, and I feel like you gotta get to a point as a creative where you're just like, I'm gonna listen to the inner voice. Like I gotta do what sounds true to me. Like whatever that sound is.
Not what everyone else is telling you.
Not what everybody's saying. I think you should make more trap shit. I think you should do this. You should just listen to your inner voice, because that's how you're gonna change the industry in general. Because there's only one you.
That's why intuition matters so much, right?
There's only one you. Like you came to this world to change the world.
And that's kind of what this talks about. The premise of this is, I mean, you could go ahead and explain.
All right, so basically, there's this force called resistance that everyone faces. It's that force. It prevents you from. It's procrastination. It's basically, it's anything from like going shopping to avoiding going shopping in order to avoid doing homework, watching TV to avoiding doing your homework, going to the fridge because you're bored. Just anything that prevents you from growth. Yeah. And it shows you like just all the faces that it has and the steps you can take to avoid it, basically.
All right, sounds like something that I could definitely be into, like, because I think like that's everyday struggle, even outside of art in general.
Yeah.
Because you know you have a couple things that you got to do every day to get to where you want to go as far as ultimate goals go, and then we always get caught up in the bullshit. So it's like, all right, I want to scroll my Instagram for 2 hours.
It's the procrastination part of things, right? He's putting a name or an entity, like a personality or character to that.
Because it is. Like,
so it is. Dude, it totally
it's
is.
It's almost like the more you, like the faces he gives you, it's like the more you strip them each one away, the closer you get to you, your actual self, to the point you can communicate to the muse. You can access whatever it is that God is trying to communicate to you.
That higher entity, other dimension where you know how sometimes you'll come up with a song, like both projects I've made so far. I can't break down the process of doing them.
Yeah, it's
you
organic.
can't really explain it. It's like you just did it. Like where did you come? What did you come up with this idea? And you're just like, I don't know. I just woke up one day and I was like, hey, this will be cool.
Because like my thing was like, even like when you look at like your past work as well, it's kind of like that's who you were then, and then you're growing to like who you're gonna be next and the next phase or whatever. We're still continuing, yeah. All right, cool. So like, it's kind of like you grow every single day, and the day you stop growing is the day you start failing. So
the day you stop dying.
Yeah, that's when you start dying. Like when you reach your pinnacle, your climax, whatever that is, that's when you're like, yeah, you've done it all for this planet. But I feel like every day you gotta grow a little bit more and just continue going. Whatever it is you're doing.
A little extra step of discomfort.
Exactly. And you only do that if you make yourself uncomfortable. Do shit that you don't know.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta go out of your way.
As long as you have like a little bit of interest in it, go through it, dive into it, discover what it's about, and then like maybe fucking bug. And then maybe I thought it was a bug the whole time. I was like, bro, this thing bites me. I was like,
this thing about to land on me, nigga.
But yeah, it's just like, yo, you got to discover a little bit of yourself every single day, because that's what we're here to do. Discover yourself.
It's the only way to grow,
somewhere
man.
into the world. Yeah.
It's the only way to grow. You can't get buff without like destroying your muscles.
Yeah.
I mean, strategically destroying your muscles.
Traumatizing your muscles.
Yeah, you fuck them up. Like that nigga running behind us right now. Like, he's not having fun doing it. But it's worth it. Yeah. Because when he's done, he's going to feel good. If he keeps going over a few months, he's going to look better. His legs are going to look crazy good. He's going to lose weight.
And also, like, pain is fun, bro.
Yeah, it's the
Like
process.
it's just a sensation, right? What it's the value that you assign to it.
Just another emotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no growth without pain. Like that's what people forget. Like whatever you want to do, you're gonna have to go through a lot of struggle and a lot of pain. Like
I mean, that's
there's
why the
no
strongest
easy.
people we know are the people who've had like the
most
most
pain.
traumatic experiences
Yeah.
in their lives.
Yeah.
It's because, dude, if you, it's like the
preps
whole
you.
thing with Super Saiyan. It's like they get stronger whenever they get a near-death experience. As long like they'll almost die, and then you don't kill them, you don't finish them off, then they come back and they're just like
Right.
It's like
ready to
preparation.
take you. It's just it's just
It's that
how do you
hormetic
think-
response. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. What's your what would you say is like your process behind?
Like creating music.
Yeah, you don't probably don't have a set one.
No, I have like it's
Just sit down,
organic. Like
yeah.
I feel like every time I try to do like a process or like go through like a specific theory on how I make music, I always make shit songs doing that. But like when I like
When you
usually-
think about it?
exactly when I think about it too hard, because like because I love penmanship, I love wordplay, I love storytelling. So that's always gonna be like, even if I end up like focusing more on sound, there's still gonna be an element of storytelling in it. There's still gonna be an element of poetry.
Storytelling
but,
is
like,
so good in music.
Oh yeah, it's like
And
that's
just
what makes the
anything-
song for me. It's like I can never be a mumble rapper for sure. Like that I can never do because
Like the
it's
one-liner shit.
yeah, like I can never like even
I'm
if I
so
want
don't-
I can't.
Oh,
Like,
the club.
I can't do that.
Alcohol.
The club
know.
alcohol. Sure,
I just feel like
Expensive vehicle.
I like it. I like
Rolling
it
on my
because they know what they are.
Yeah.
It's just not my cup of tea. But
Mhm.
some of them, of course, are using it because it's popular.
Mm-hmm,
But some actually do just do it because they love that.
yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, man. After a few, it's just like
It's like,
Yeah,
nah.
they just all start to sound
it
the
just
same.
sound like the lack of originality. It's like how about you create a whole story in your head and then bring that into that world.
because they're doing what's organic to them, right? And the problem is people have this whole mentality of like, yeah, trap music is trash. This is that's like, nah, it
That's me.
exists because it has a purpose, bro. Like
Everything's
that's what
in
art
its
is.
right place,
Yeah,
right?
That's what art is.
Yeah.
Art is expression, like
'Cause
whatever
someone,
expression
like,
is to you.
before it was the wave, someone started it.
It
And
was
one
not
stab
cool
it
at
was
one
not
point.
cool
at a point,
And
and
there
now
was
it's
one
cool.
point where it was not the cool thing to do. It was
Yeah.
like your mumble rap. What the fuck is that?
Exactly.
Now it's like oh man, like
That's what's
let me
pop.
get in the booth. Let me drop
spit some
these
fire.
triplet flows. No 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 no. Oh
That's the
yeah,
thing.
it's like it's just
Fuck
part of it. Niggas create no. That's the thing. It's not really about language. It's about it's about the feeling of it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's art, bro. Like that's what it is. Like
I mean, like if you killed a nigga and you think the best way to express you killing a nigga is
Is
to just
that.
mumble it out, like
that's what works for you. Then that's what you gotta do. Like,
At least you don't incriminate yourself.
you know,
Exactly.
the cops gotta they gotta fucking find that shit out. They gotta decipher it.
bro.
Have you ever had moments of like, you know what flow state is, right?
Like what? Like writer's block?
No, flow state is like a moment when you're so lost into making whatever you're making. It could
Like
be
you
like
lose
an
track of
essay
time.
writing.
Mhm.
You lose track of time of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the point where you just snap out of it like 4 hours later, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happens to me like a lot. Like, cause especially cause like I took out all the lights in my room and replaced them with LED lights. So like, cause like depending on the mood or like what song I'm making, I switch all the like, cause like my lamp, I got a lamp, top light, side lights, and a strip at the back.
Is it connected to the Google Home?
Oh yeah, bro. But no, Amazon, bro.
EMF,
Alexa,
yes.
bro. I walk in, I'm like, yo, I'm home, bro. I'm like, Echo, I'm home, or Alexa, I'm home. And then she's like, oh, welcome back.
Welcome back, Daddy.
Yeah, and I was
Let me
Daddy,
fry the
I wish
water
you
in
said
your
that shit.
body.
I wish you said that
With
shit.
electromagnetic fields.
This nigga's against like,
Well, it's
'cause
not
we-
that I'm against it.
Well-
It's just
well, yeah,
I'm
'cause-
aware of it.
yeah, because there's this whole thing with 5G and
Electromagnetic
wireless,
frequencies.
and how the frequencies and the radiation that it's putting out is kind of the same as microwaves.
Oh.
So keeping that very close to yourself, and like it's like when people used to tell you don't speak on your phone with it
Yeah.
next
Or
to
don't keep
your
your
ear.
laptop on your lap because it'll fry your balls.
It's constantly looking for signals,
Yeah.
and those things can not be
It-
too good
yeah,
for
it
you.
emits radiation basically, and if it's like on a chronic level, where your phone is always in your right pocket, it's like it's gonna
Eventually.
have an effect. There was this one doctor who tested the bone density in both his legs, and the phone he kept the leg he kept his phone in had 10% less bone density.
Damn.
fucking
That's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
But like
That's fucking
when
crazy.
it comes to like things like that, like for me, I'm not super bothered because I'm like, this body is temporary, this universe is temporary,
Yeah.
this life is temporary. It's like we're here
Yeah.
for a phase and we're out. So like it's kind of like if it's not overall detrimental to like what I'm doing as far as like my pursuit of happiness, of my pursuit.
But it
of
may be so
journey.
subtle that you're not even noticing.
That's what I'm saying. If it's like something that's super subtle and I don't notice and it's
You don't
in
give a
and it's
fuck.
gone, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Because
Like
I'm like,
us,
either
we're
way,
not
in
we're
or
not really
out.
trying to optimize it, right? Because
Yeah.
we're just living every single day, like
Exactly.
trying to be artists.
And we're
but-
unaware of most of these things. It's like this is
Mhm.
something I just learned right now. But to get back to your flow state question, it's kind of like I do get it where you're just so embedded in what you're making that you just want to like you don't even focus on the time or how
Yeah.
long it's taking.
Like
you
you'll
You
be
just keep-
hungry for 2
Or
hours and
even-
you don't
you
even
don't even
notice.
notice. Yeah, you
Even
just
when
keep
we're
going.
playing soccer, like you'll get the ball,
Mhm.
know exactly where your teammate is, not
Exactly.
even looking.
That's like the
Pass is
autopilot
perfect.
mode.
You don't even you don't even have to think about it.
Mhm.
It's like the
Mhm.
bridge between what you're supposed to do
Mhm.
and the thinking about what you're supposed to do. That's just crushed. Like your body
Yeah.
already knows it. And I think
It's
the
just
more comfortable you are into whatever you're
Yeah.
doing, the
Lot-
easier it
has a
probably
lot
is.
to do with like
Mhm.
muscle memory and just the
And-
patterns in your brain.
Oh yeah, I think it's like you do your best work like that. Like when it comes to the music side of things, you make your best music when it's just flow state and it's organic.
Mhm.
When you think too hard, that's when you fuck it up because that's no longer your true self. You're trying
Yeah.
to connect to someone else and be someone else. When it comes to like soccer, for example, like the free form plays, the best games I ever played is always free state. Like I scored like 3 goals and I'm like, wait,
How did I do that?
I just scored a goal and I don't even know how I did it. But it's kind of like that free state because you train so hard and you work so hard to prepare your body and mind for like everything that you're doing
Mhm.
that you get to the point where your body's like, yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
Like you don't even need to
Yeah.
think anymore. Like
It's
we
so
we
interesting.
autopilot. Same thing with like music. It's like if you think too hard, it's like it's not organic. It's like
Yeah, I
that's when you
found-
lose the feeling.
I found that like a lot of the time when I'm just like okay, I'm sitting down and I'm like okay, what should I do?
Mhm.
And then you just start calculating every move you're doing. You come up with something that's so like
it might be good, but it's not you.
Rigid.
bro. The way I'm thinking, it's like, are we? Is us, bro? It's like, are we just vessels? Because if you think about it, every time you're not letting go of you while you're doing it,
Mhm.
it doesn't come out good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
every time you're in a state of like not thinking, you're
just
fully
doing.
into it. It's just you and it, not even yourself. It's just it. It's just the work you're doing. That's when you make the best shit.
Mhm. That's the inner self.
And that's so interesting. It's just like, are we just like vessels for everything? It's the same thing with everything, right?
Mhm.
It's just
Mhm.
like when you make your best pieces, you probably don't even notice.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
one of them came to me in my dream. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know, I wasn't even
In the
trying
moment,
to
in the
make
moment where
it.
your conscious
Mhm.
is not even there.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's just your subconscious, and I think there's a lot with just letting go of that 5%
Mhm.
of your mind
Mhm.
and letting the 95% take care of things
Mhm.
because it's 95%.
Uh-huh.
It probably has more information than that 5%.
Yeah.
So
'Cause I feel
great.
like
clearly it's 95. Like
I'm dead.
It definitely has like more of the tools that you'll need to do whatever you have to do. So if you let go of that conscious, like
The
the
conscious mind.
yeah, if you just lower yourself to the lower like frequencies to the point where you're like in the theta
Mhm.
to the maybe the delta states, like that's when your thing's gonna.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, I'll start doing that with this episode.
binaural.
Oh,
We're gonna.
there's new shit
I'm
now?
fully into like binaural beats now.
All right.
And I've been like listening to those on like the bus. Instead of listening to music, I'll listen to it. Like let's say I'm going home after work and I know I have to sleep when I get home, I'll listen to theta because theta is more associated with like deep meditative states to sleep.
Okay.
Delta is like the sleep one when you're fully out.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
But
don't have
Delta,
that
I don't
focus
really want to
aspect.
get to Delta while I'm in the bus because it might make me fall asleep. I think a lot of people. I just want to say that because like if you've noticed, I mean we're like 20 minutes into this. If you've noticed some weird like bass noise this entire time, I might preface it maybe post just say it. But I don't know. I'm fully into it. Like, do you know about that shit?
Nah, I'm not aware of that. Like right now, I'm like
It's-
listening to weird shit. So
It's
I don't know.
like it's saying that you know how everything is vibrations. Everything is
yeah.
just
Everything.
atoms
Yeah.
vibrating at a certain frequency. Emotions,
Uh-huh.
Sound.
sound,
All of it, yeah.
color, everything. Right. This table is just
It's
atoms,
right.
but it's very dense.
Mhm.
Basically, your mind state is also like frequencies. So right
Mhm.
now we're probably it's anywhere between beta and alpha
Uh-huh.
because beta is one of the higher ones when it's like high energy.
Mhm.
pretty distracted energy focus when it's just like you're just
More
chilling.
yang.
It's the one you're usually into. 'Cause you're not really focused. You're just distracted, right? Alpha is when you're getting into like the creative things. Like when you're trying to do some creative work, you put the alpha in for like 15 minutes, let your brain sink into that, and then it just falls into it. What's after after alpha is theta. Theta is when you're into like deep meditation, when you're starting to like lose your sense of self a bit, and then delta is what your brain is when you're asleep.
Okay.
And then it
dormant mind.
alternates. Because like your sleep cycle, you'll get awake time, deep sleep time, and then it'll just go back between delta and alpha and beta and delta and alpha. And no, beta doesn't go into beta when you're asleep because you're fully dead. Like, so what I'm trying to do is just like experiment with it. Let me put it in this and see if people get a different feeling from listening to it. Do they get more relaxed while they're listening? Do they get into a state when they can maybe they see things a different way? Because I don't know. It's the weird shit that people love to like call new agey and put that little label on it. But I feel like it's something that you can't. It's just like with working out. You can't just go to the gym one day, work out, wake up the next day, not have muscles, and be like, see, it's a fad, it's a myth.
Nah, bro.
You need to work out for at least a month or two to see exactly what the benefits
you have to give it a
of
fair trial.
Exactly. So it's just a trial I'm doing, and just seeing, like what that's like, because like, if everything's vibrations and you just put those certain vibrations in you that are literally specifically like there for a specific thing, then maybe it'll put you in that thing that you want to be in. Because some of them are related to creativity, some of them are boosted are related to serotonin boosts, so you could get in a higher mood. Some of them are connected to like higher energy.
How do you feel on it? Like how do you feel
when you listen to it?
For your past 2 days that you've tried?
For the theta one, it's funny because I told you like the placebo thing, but then the way I counter argued that is just like everything's placebo in a way. Everything's a placebo effect because everything is just.
It's your mind.
If you believe in it, it'll be true. Like to some people, hell and heaven are actual like factual things, even though they've never seen it ever in their lives.
That's a fact.
Like they don't need to see it. They believe in it to the point where like that shit's real, even though they've never seen it.
Okay.
It's like also people who've battled off cancer with just their mind.
Yeah, because like everything we experience is through that mind, right?
So it's like if everything you like, life doesn't exist to you if you don't have a mind.
Yeah.
Like you need it to interpret
actually
everything.
Is placebo, whether you like it or not.
Which
So
is weird to think about, but it's fact.
So it's like, why am I just getting into this? Like I was in the bus, and I was listening to it, and then I was like, okay, like I kind of felt way more like relaxed than like, and then I got home, I was like ready to like head off to bed, and then one day I was going to work and I listened to alpha ones, which would be more focused, like more related to more like focus and shit, and it was one of the best shifts I had. It was like I was so focused on this shift, like I did my work, like even my coworkers was
You
like,
listen to it during work?
no, just before, because all you need, according to like the articles I've read so far, you need like 7 to 30 minutes. That's why you could do it with a meditation session where it's like you go in for like 15 to 30 minutes.
You're good.
You just listen to it while you're meditating. I used to do it while meditating. I used to do theta waves while meditating. I did one while microdosing, and I got so fucking freaked out. I got freaked out. I was like, oh, nah. Let me turn that shit off.
I'm dead.
But I don't know. I'm just gonna keep trying. I'm just gonna keep trying, and like on the bus, I'm gonna use it. And I'm just gonna see, those things. What you told me you were into some weird shit right now. Like what's like some weird shit you into?
I can't even say weird. Like right now I'm listening to like some classical music, and like I guess like the two main artists I'm listening to right now is, I don't know if you know Benjamin Clementine or Sonny Colon. So like they're both like very classical, it's like relaxing music because I feel like
classical music.
yeah, like
I mean that's where it all originated.
So you listen to jazz
yeah.
too, huh?
Yeah, like a little bit. Like I like to like listen to a little bit of everything. Like if I like something, even if it's like out of like the pocket of my favorite music, I give it a try, and then eventually I end up diving deeper into like that's how I got into like the Benjamin Clementine, right? Because like his content and his stories I relate to so much, right? And it's in this classical theme, and I'm like, yo, I really fuck with it so hard.
Is it contemporary or is it like fully classical or like old music?
I don't know how to explain it. It's like
Is
like
it
classical
a
music.
mesh of classical and like other shit?
It's like classic music if it was niggified, bro. Like it's just got some spice
Oh,
of
that
black
sounds
level.
interesting.
That's what it is. Like so, like he's just like
The
he's
strings
super,
are there.
Oh yeah, he's like super artistic, but the beats are like super classical. It's just like the way he sings. It's not your generic. I'm gonna melody through this. It's like he's got his own style to it. Like it's weird.
You can feel like it's thought out.
It's his own.
It's his own like little weird style, and I like it. I fuck with it so heavy.
But it's funny because
Yeah.
he's still taking elements from like other people, but it still feels
Exactly.
him,
which is weird because like it's like I'm.
That's what originality
Cause
is,
like
bro.
yeah, I know, right? And like people was always like, "Yo, you're a rapper, but you don't really listen to that much rap music." I was like, "Yeah, because like I've already clocked in my hours for rap. Like I've listened to so much rap."
How would you evolve it if you're continually listening to it?
Exactly, because like I've learned from all my favorites about like how I want to deliver and how my cadence should be played off. And then like my mind right now is more in tune to vibe music and
Now it's
classical
just
music.
Now you just want
That's
to
what
go take other elements and bring it to that.
and
Like
bring it into the culture.
What do scientists do in the lab? They take this compound liquid thing, they take this one, put it together, see if it makes some new thing.
Exactly.
The drugs, the pharmaceuticals niggas take, it's not just one thing. It's just a bunch of things, and then it becomes Advil. It's a
Exactly.
bunch of things, and then it becomes Zans. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like you just gotta mix all of those elements and make something different, something great. Because it's not about good music. Is just great shit. No matter what you do, it's if it's organic to you,
if it feels
and you
good,
make it, it's gonna feel good, bro. Because my thing is just make people happy.
I think there's a possibility when it comes to art to get to a point where you're objectively good.
Yeah.
You know how they say like it's subjective?
Yeah.
And any kind of art, like there's a point where you could and it relates to the whole 10,000 hours thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because right now the stage that I'm at, it's a state of don't judge, don't think, just sit down and make shit all day. Whatever it is, just sit down and make it. Don't think about it. And that's why I'm releasing so much, because I'm trying to not to overthink. Oh, is this song good enough? Is it blah 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 blah? No, I'm just like, I liked it when I made it. All right, let me put it out. Like, let me. Of course, there's thought goes. There's of
into
course.
making it as well,
Like,
yeah.
I have to think about is it actually worth putting out, because you'll.
And that's what makes it authentic.
Your standard, yeah.
Yeah, there's a standard,
There's a
right?
standard
Of
that
what
you're trying to keep up for yourself.
Yeah,
you
what you're
don't
trying to
wanna put out
release.
trash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but still in that like phase, I'll never pretend like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I've been making beats since 2014, and I've been making songs since 2000, maybe 17, but I've been dabbling in it since like 7 years old, like writing songs in Creole and shit. But I know for sure that I don't know what I'm doing. There's an element of randomness to you making
creating
something good and bad, and you know, like you're making it and you're like, oh, I don't know how it's gonna come out. I'm just gonna make it and see.
Yeah, because it always sounds different in your head. Like in your head, you have like an idea.
You have like the perfect idea.
And you're like, this shit sounds so fire. And then you make it, and it's like,
you're
it's not what I was looking for, but it's still fire in its own way. Yeah.
What was I thinking making this shit?
I have so many songs like that too, where you just like, you made it, I was like, I have no business making this type of music. Then I just delete, put it on the side. Like,
just delete it.
No one
Like,
has ever,
you
they
just-
should never see this song.
No one's ever gonna even know this existed.
Because if they
Just
do,
deep
they'll
in
be
your
like, bro.
sketchbook, never be seen
Yeah,
them.
bro.
We'll never
Even
see
burn the
daylight.
damn page. Nah, I'm never gonna touch this ever again.
Ever. They should never know it happened.
But I feel like the game doesn't start until you get to that point.
Yeah.
And that point is the point that like people have argued over. Some people say it's 10,000 hours. Some people say it's more. Some people say it's less. It's whatever. But depending on, it depends on the person, honestly. There's gonna be a point.
How fast you grow.
There's gonna be a point when you reach and you're gonna be like, I kind of know. Like it's weird because for beat making there was a point where there was a ratio of good and bad beats that I would make. There was for every 10 beats, one of them will be like, oh shit, this is tight.
Is the one, yeah.
And then through time, it's been for every 9 beats,
Less,
there's 2
and
that's
then
good.
less.
For every 10 beats, there's 2 that's
The
good. For
ratios
every
get better
for
and
every
better over
10,
time.
there's like 5. For every 10, there's 2. To a point where you like, there's a point where it clicks and you like, I know what it takes to make a beat that I like now. Okay, I kind of understand what's going on. I'm still not fully there, but for me to make a bad beat is very hard.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like that's everyday growth. Like
exactly, it's just
your shit is
sitting
never
down.
Even if everybody's like, "Yo, this shit's fire." If you and yourself, you're like, "Yo, I can do better." That means you still got more to grow. Only you can know. Nobody knows your limits.
You, like niggas will of course like give their inputs, they'll give your feedback, but no one actually knows. And it takes a lot of like skill in learning about yourself also to like, because some people just have low self-esteem and they think anything, even if it's good, they'll think it's bad.
Nah, that's whack. I don't like that.
And people will tell me when I'm like, this song is aight. They'll be like, nah, you need to fuck with yourself more. It's not that I don't fuck with myself. Because when I make something good, I'll be like, nah, this is tight. It's just I know. Like I'm the only one who knows. And it's just you just gotta get to a point where you're in tune with yourself and you know what you're making and you're judging it like adequately. And of course it's subjective. Some people will like a beat that you think is trash. Some people will dislike a beat that you think is amazing. But for a nigga like Kanye, whether you like Kanye or not, whether you don't like Kanye's full discography or not, there's a Kanye song that you think that you love and that you cannot like stop repeating in your head. Stronger, Can't Tell Me Nothing. Like he has songs that are objectively good. Like that whether or not you like him now or you don't like one of his albums or you don't like him as a person.
That's so crazy.
You're gonna be like there's no doubt about it. This guy has not only had influence over the whole genre itself. He has songs that like I cannot even lie. That even if I don't like them, I know they're good. Like, you cannot tell me My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is not a good album. Even if you don't listen to it, even if it's not your cup of tea, you can listen to it and you're like, okay, like this is good. Like this shit is, and I think it's just through practice, through time, through just sitting down every day and doing your work. It's to a point where you can get to a point where you're like, people will see what you make, and even if they don't like it, they'll tell you. Like they'll feel it. They'll be like, nah, this shit is good. Like it's not my cup of tea, but this shit is good. And that's the being objectively good that I'm talking about. Like, what do you think of that?
My thing is like a lot of people won't get to the point of being objectively good because the yes man thing is always gonna fuck everybody up because everybody wants to make what people like. Because it's not
they're crowd pleasing.
Exactly,
right?
Crowd pleasing, and that's not artistic process. Artistic process is I'll do my shit. Be a fan of yourself first. That's what I believe in. If you make music that you genuinely like,
if you don't fuck with yourself, like no one's gonna fuck with it.
Exactly. And then even if like they sleep on it now or whatever, that's because that's how the world works. The world works slow.
They don't care about your process.
They don't care
no one
about
cares about your process.
Yeah, it's like when they catch on to you, they'll catch on to you. How long did it take for Frank Ocean to get famous?
It took a minute.
Yeah, people were like, they're sleeping on him forever, right? And then eventually people were just like, fuck, this shit's good. It's like, yeah, it's been good.
And then all they focus on is the period when he started getting famous.
Exactly.
China Orange. They don't focus on the tracks before he got famous. They don't focus on Kanye's beats he was making before, like the Through the Wire. They don't focus on whatever, like Kid Super, while he was trying to figure out how to make like clothes, while he was maybe like learning about it. No one cares about that.
He still has the first set of T-shirts in his basement that he's trying to sell. He hasn't sold them.
That's crazy. And he didn't sell them.
No.
And he just kept it. And now that he's popping, he can look at that and he's like, yeah, that's where that's
probably selling for more now.
No, yeah, 100%.
Because all I'm saying is like other people idolize now. They've been doing what they're doing. Like they've always been good at what they're doing.
What they've been doing, nothing else.
Nothing else. That's the thing, because that's what makes them unique. That's why we love them so much. That's why we idolize Kanye West.
And I think that's what the niche is. You don't look for a niche. You just do what you do, and that becomes
what you
the
like.
niche.
You just find what you like and then you do it. It's authenticity. It's something you can't grab, you can't see it, it's not tangible, but it's something every human has a capability of feeling, of detecting, and of course like manifesting within themselves. And you can tell like you've seen one hit wonders. Like we're going through a disco phase right now where it's just like, shit, nigga, I just farted. When it's just like nigga, you smelled the mic.
Bro,
that was a joke. Never mind.
Well, your jokes suck.
Yeah, it's good. My sense of
Stick
smell.
to clothing,
Bro.
Stick to clothing, bitch.
Bro, man's looking clean today, bro. I'm just saying. You guys are
Stick
wildin'.
to clothing, bitch. You're not no fucking stand-up comedian, bitch. The fucking clothing, you stupid fucking pixel captures.
He's saying you don't have jokes, bro.
You suck.
Kevin had looking ass.
Stupid comic trash.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. You're right.
That's the point. Anyways, yeah. but it's like it's authenticity, man. I think people like that. It's like people are looking around too much.
To find that, yeah.
It's like, oh man, he has 15,000 followers. He's doing that. So maybe I should do that to figure it out.
Nah.
It's a thing, man. It's corny, but it's so true, and that's why people make it corny because resistance makes
like,
them.
Oh, I can't attain it, so let's just push it aside.
Let's just put a label on it to make myself feel better about it. That's corny. It's like veganism. It's like I'm kind of insecure about it.
Bro,
I'm not
that's
too
just
into
so
it.
fucked. I was
It's
listening to a
very
podcast
hard.
where they're talking about like the commercialization of veganism and how it's the huge thing right now, right?
True.
So
But
It costs way more too.
yeah,
It's a
I
pop thing to
bet.
do now.
And then there's vegans who have been vegans for like 15 years and they've written books like, yo, I'm off the ship because my health was deteriorating just because I'm vegan.
Not
Like,
because it's cool.
not because it's cool, it's because I'm eating shit that I can't get the full nutrients of. Like I need to eat meat. I can't get the same protein from lima beans that I'll get from like a
It's not the
steak,
same
you know?
shit.
It's not the same shit.
Did you see how Paul Chek explained it?
No.
Oh man, it was beautiful. We're the only ones who can actually like, from what we know, who can actually like advance this place. Who can?
Oh yeah, that one.
advances
Who
Yeah.
can
planet?
the planet? Like that's
Fact.
why we're destroying it. The fact that we're destroying it means we're the only ones who can advance it. That's why
Influence it.
I mean we've managed to build schools. We're in a fucking school like environment right now.
We build all types of tools, all types of infrastructure systems that make things more effective. That's more conducive to just growth.
A cow can't do that shit.
Cat can't do that. So
A sheep can't do that.
you like eating a cow is not necessarily immoral because the cow gives you nutrients to fuel the machine that is the human
being, yeah.
right now.
The way explained is the cow doesn't mind it because the cow knows its place in this ecosystem.
Yeah.
And the cow like you're inviting the cow in. You're using the cow's
Because
spirit
you need it.
so you can get your energy, whatever you need to make whatever
and you use that spirit to better the environment for cows even to the point where you don't have to go to the slaughterhouse for meat.
Niggas forget there's no rights. There's no such thing as rights, laws, nations, countries. This is just
It's the
games
thing
we
that we
built.
didn't.
It's just a world we've built that we've become like dependent on. That we just forgot that we actually sat down and just invented all of this shit. So the cow doesn't actually have rights.
That's
Just like
fact.
there's nothing. There's no. The thing is, there's no one way to live. If you find veganism is working for you,
Do that.
great. But don't go make yourself
Imposing
feel
it on
better
everybody.
about being a vegan by shitting on everyone. It's like people who. Gary says it perfectly. Don't try to have the tallest building by destroying everyone else's around you. Build the tallest building.
Because like the thing is, everybody's like in a competitive mindset. Everybody's
Exactly.
like, if you don't believe what I believe, if you don't think that what I'm doing is the best, then you're not
you're
right.
wrong.
It's kind of like when we take it back to like religion, for example.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Everyone else
Muslims
is
have
going
to
to
be
hell.
wrong. They have to be wrong so that Christians are right, or
Bro,
Muslims
even
have to be wrong.
I still
to
see
do-
myself going through that because I'll be like, yo, all religion is bullshit.
Yeah, religion
Because it is
bullshit.
like you're just putting rules on fucking universal shit and like, oh,
you
you'll
can't
go to
even
hell
explain.
if this happens. Like, nah, bro, just live your life the way you want it. Just be nice to people.
And it
My
wouldn't-
thing is like there's an inner thing. There's like an inner voice that always tells you what's right or wrong, bro. Like there's sometimes where you're just like, I'm convicted. I can't do this. Like if, for example, that car over
Yeah.
there, natural order of things is chaos. I could just steal that car if I wanted
Yeah.
to. But
You-
then like
you
within
totally-
myself, there's a voice that's like, bro,
Yeah.
that's something totally wrong in doing that shit. And
Yeah,
that
nigga
is
work
what I
hard to get
believe
that
more.
car.
But some people don't have access to that voice, so they just do it anyways.
Their
That's the
lifestyle
problem.
keeps
It
them
depends.
further and further from that voice.
Exactly, because people
From that
don't want to do
Facts.
the
because
whole
that
balance.
voice tries to keep you away from it too.
And I think you only get that voice when like you start trying to find a connection to like the soul side, because people want to further their mental growth
Misaligned,
and then
misaligned.
their emotional, but then like they don't align their like spirit level as well, right?
There's a balance, right?
Yeah.
That a lot of people don't have.
And a lot of people just imbalance, and that's where the chaos comes from. Because then that, like I was saying, like societies exist because this is the way to control the chaos. Because natural order is chaos. Everybody just wants to fuck shit up.
Facts.
That's how we're built, right? But when
That's literally how we're built.
we're just built to fuck shit up. Like even like when you think about some weird ideas that you have sometimes, like if someone pisses you off, it's like I wish I could just burn you right now. And you're just like,
And it's not even the fucking shit up. It's just mere survival, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, why should he, like if order didn't exist, then what could stop someone from just walking in your house? Is like, I own this bitch now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you need both.
Exactly. You need
You need order to have chaos.
balance,
You need
yeah.
chaos to have order. One cannot
Exactly.
exist without the other.
Mhm.
And I think that's the thing. Like people, and it's funny. I've been saying that to you the past few days as a joke, but it's one of the biggest realizations I've like actually made. And of course, I've understood that concept before, but there's random moments where something you already know kind of hits you a bit harder. It's weird. I think that's what wisdom is. It's like through through like age and through time, things you already know make more sense with like
Yeah,
there's
just
like life
repetition.
Yeah.
there's a life experience you're supposed to have to understand things that you know
Yeah, that's
even
fact.
better. So like I'll be like I was just walking and I was like, dude, like good and bad are two sides of the same coin.
Good
So
cannot exist
Chaos
without
is
bad.
embedded in order. Order is embedded in chaos.
So yeah, so focusing on good, there's a whole different side of that coin that you're missing. You're disregarding a whole nother part that makes that whole. So you're not complete. You need the
You need the
bad.
bad because good cannot exist without bad.
And it's just I don't know why we're so. It's probably a mix of things
and,
like
and to just put it on a more practical level, like, okay, if you know martial arts, if you don't know martial arts,
Yeah.
you don't know what your limit is. You don't know how to defend yourself, so you're just gonna go all out, right? You don't care if you're gonna kill the guy because you just need to survive. But if you do know martial arts, if you do know the art that is
the art.
fucking like disassembling the human body to the point like you know it inside out.
You're like,
You're gonna
yeah.
know what to do to the point like, oh, do I really need to kill this guy or do I just break his arm,
Just, yeah.
run? You know, like he knows his limits, so he knows how to control himself and he knows what exactly to do at that point.
That's fact.
Yeah, man. People lean too much to one side of things.
And you can't have the good without the evil as well. That's like where the whole general thing is. We need that balance to exist.
Yeah.
If we don't have that balance, then it's like, what are we? Like, how are we gonna move?
And
forward?
no matter what you try, like reality is this one thing that's always like objective. No matter what what you try to tell yourself through your mind, like there's still reality.
Yeah.
And I mean, the more you meditate or try psychedelics, you'll see what reality actually is.
Yeah.
And
Which
and-
is it doesn't exist.
and when you get close to reality, it's so daunting and overwhelming sometimes. The state of everything being
Yeah,
everything
just
at
so much
once.
structure.
Like you see the good and bad being both one thing, which is reality. It's like there isn't only one thing that you should focus on. They're both ever present, omnipresent at all times.
And that goes back to the thing, like, yo, everything actually is placebo, man. Like, so you, right now, if you're sad, if you're, like, anxious, anything, you can make that mind switch right now, and you can be grateful.
Exactly.
It's all in your head.
It's
like,
all like how you perceive certain things, right? Because it's well, even when it comes to like everyday pursuit of happiness, because it is an everyday thing. You have to like try to be happy every single
You
day.
have to
and
be happy
find
every
your
day.
happiness every day. Because
I think it's
day.
nonsense.
Yeah.
The happiness, it's not the
Stop
goal,
being
man.
sad.
What, bro? I think like happiness is the goal, bro. Because I think like if you're here on this planet, you're here.
But what do you mean by happiness?
Like just what brings you joy, man. Like and what you're gonna do to bring other
I think
people joy.
I think happiness should be a byproduct. I don't think
Yeah.
it should be
Because
the
here's the
end
thing.
goal.
Here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people have. It's just words, right?
Mhm.
It's our
Right,
it's our
the
it's our
feeling
best.
that we
it's-
try to put into
It's our
language.
it's our
We're trying to
best
explain
attempt.
what it is.
It's our
Yeah.
best attempt at communicating. And still, when it comes to terms like that, a lot of people have their own definitions of those terms. To me, happiness through like where I'm at through my 19 years of experience, happiness has become something that is more closer to peace.
Yeah.
To me, happiness is more
Yeah.
peace. Like
Calm.
it's more being fine with the way things
content-
are.
Yeah.
But of
contentness.
course, it's like you chase perfection, knowing that you will never attain
achieve
it,
Yeah.
and you're at peace with that, and you're fine with the chase. You're fine with that process of getting there. It's like climbing a unlimited mountain. And you know that the climb itself is the victory. That's to me. That's what happiness is to me. The climb. The happiness is not the summit. It's not
Because the
getting
summit
to the
only
top.
doesn't
lasts
exist.
like how many seconds?
The
Exactly.
summit to
Climb-
me is my last breath.
Yeah. And that's why it's like it's an everyday pursuit, right? 'Cause it's
Exactly.
Like
So-
you're trying to get that feeling or as much of that feeling that you're chasing every single day.
Yeah. So to me, I could be sad. My mom could die. I like to me. There's still, of course,
It
there's-
hurts.
It hurts.
Right.
But to
But
me,
you can still
happiness.
be quote unquote happy.
Yeah. To me, happiness is knowing that I don't have control over that
Over this.
happening. That's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
That's
That's
another
part
problem.
of it. That's part of life. Of course, it feels like shit, but trying to fight that feeling only enhances it. And I think that's what people like get wrong, and that's why in every moment of an ego death, that's why it's so easy to go into a bad trip, because if you fight it, reality is still there. If you try to convince yourself that reality doesn't exist, it's still there. It's still gonna it's still gonna check you.
To it. Yeah.
It's gonna check you, and as long as you try holding on and you don't let go, you're fucked. You're not gonna have a good time.
True.
And as soon as you let go, you find the blissful state of accepting things as they are. And I think niggas just focus too much on trying to associate with one side. It's like, live freely with opposition and paradox.
Because people they try to live in this world as if you're in control of everything that's going on around you. You're not in control of anything. Just like
you're only in control about your interpretation.
Exactly. Because my thing is like worry about the shit that you can't control. Like even if it comes like back to like things like releasing music, right? People are just like, yeah, this song is fucking good, so it's gonna get 1 million plays and everybody's gonna be fucking happy.
Or else it's trash.
Yeah, but it's like you're not in control of that.
People have to like it.
Yeah.
People have to like. I hope people like it, and if people don't like it, then oh fuck. Like I want people. You want to control people to like your to like your song. Like you. It's like, and that's why people always end up doing what's hot, right? It's because you don't have control over them. But there's this one thing that's popular right now. Okay, so let me curate my stuff more towards that, so that maybe then I'll have more control over people liking my things, like death grips.
And at that point, you're appealing to the lowest common denominator.
You're separating yourself from that divine, bro, from the muse that's gonna give you the crazy ideas. Yeah, it's like, how do new rules get made? By breaking old ones.
Yeah, facts.
Every rule that exists now have been bad at one point. People were like, "Ugh, I don't fuck with that" at one point. You know, like a touch screen phone. When Steve was trying to make that, niggas was like, "Why would you do that?
We need buttons.
Why would you do that? We need a keyboard."
That's impractical.
Now, it's the best. It's the only thing niggas do.
It's the only thing everybody's using.
A keyboard, nigga. You see a nigga with a keyboard
like,
fucking on their phones, you laugh at them. Like the flip phone was cool at one time. It's like, okay, why would I have to flip my phone open? That's stupid.
So stupid.
Like I can just have a phone that's already the screen is out.
Exactly.
And then it became hot. It's like,
and that's growth.
You have to be willing to get clowned for a bit, bro.
Someone has to have that organic idea first.
Yeah, like, you have to believe in it.
You have to believe in it,
to
no matter how
you
much
ride
you
with it long enough to a point where it picks up, where you can sell it to the people. But as soon as niggas like come across adversity, they quit.
They quit, and that's the thing, because it's like the things are always slow at first, because the world works slow. When the iPhone or like the idea for like the touchscreen phone came out, right? People are still slow on it. They're just like, yeah, that's stupid, because people are so stuck in their ways. It's human nature to be stuck in
we
like
love
what
the
you
past,
do. We like the past so much that we just want to be stuck in it. But eventually, people are just like, why stick to this when there's better? And that's the moment that you gotta wait for. You don't know when it's gonna happen, but you just gotta believe 100% it's gonna happen whenever it happens.
That's why I think it's so important to lead by example, because humans are skeptical by nature, I believe.
Yeah.
And they don't really want to be on board with something until it's survival.
It's
you don't want to. It's like
life.
your survival instincts tell you to not trust things too much, to not hop on board, because it might be, I don't know, it's unsafe.
And humans actually, we learn best by, I forgot. It's called the something of mind. So like how babies learn, right? It's like, oh, I see my dad doing this certain thing. Or it's like how you ride a bike. It's like you just watch the person do it, and it's like, oh, okay, that's how they do it.
You get on.
I should do the exact same, and it's easy.
And then through that, you adapt it in your own way, and you develop your own style eventually. But there's nothing wrong with like imitating someone. Did it go out?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with imitating someone when you're first starting out, and then using that, and then eventually turning it into your own thing, like.
Because that's how you learn. Like, because it's kind of like when it's like the spectrum of learning things. It's like climbing a ladder, right? People have set pieces for these ladders. Everybody's trying to get to the summit, which is when you're objectively good instead of subjectively good. So that's the summit. Everybody's trying to get there. So when you start, you're like, okay, Kanye set this ladder. I'm going to step on this for a little bit, figure out how I'm going to get to my point. And then, I also like Kid Cudi. Let me step on this, see where this is going to take me. And then next, and so on, and so on, and so on. And then it's like, even on this journey of you trying to get to the summit, right? You get to a point where you're just like, all right, I think I've learned enough from everybody else. it's time for me to start setting my own ladder pieces. So like, yeah, your ladder is going left, yours is going right, but I'm gonna go down this route.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where you're supposed to get at some point, and most people don't get there because they're so stuck in this whole, oh, what's pop now? All right, I'm gonna jump on that ladder now.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on that.
What's pop now? I'm gonna jump on
And
that
it's
ladder
also-
now.
and
It's
it's
painful
also-
to see that
yeah.
like people do that shit.
And it's also
It's-
money too, right?
yeah, but
It's
my
just
thing
like
is-
I'll pop, I'll make money off of it, and I'll be good.
And there's nothing wrong with that too.
There's nothing
There's
wrong with
nothing
it.
wrong with that too.
Just
It's
know what
kinda
you're
like-
doing.
Yeah,
just
know
don't
what
be
you're doing.
shook when people don't care about you anymore.
Exactly, because it's like, what's your ultimate goal when you pursue certain things? If your ultimate goal is, all right, I'm trying to chase the bag to support my family, and that's what I want to do, then
it.
you chase it, right?
Just do
But
it.
if your objective goal is, I want to make a difference in culture, then just know that your
gonna take
adversity
a
is
long
going to take a
time.
long time, and like the challenges you're going to face are not the same that someone is chasing the bag is going to take. And you got to be okay with that too.
And while you're at that, stop looking at the person chasing the bag, getting
Yeah.
it, and thinking you're doing something wrong.
There's nothing wrong with what both of you guys are doing.
Because it's a marathon, my nigga. Don't look at the niggas sprinting.
The moment you look left or right, you slow down.
Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
slow
You're
down.
gonna slow down, someone's
and then
gonna
you're
beat
not
you to the
gonna
race.
finish. The person
Exactly.
sprinting is gonna be
very
tired.
beautifully put, man.
So I'm just like, yo, you gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. It's like, there's no
Patience is so
there's no set date.
underrated.
Exactly.
Oh
There's
my
no
God.
set date to most of
Slowing
these things,
down,
bro.
man.
There's no set date to most of these things. You just gotta calm down and be like, you know what? The journey is the trip. That's the highlight of all of this.
That's the
When I
success,
get-
bro.
that's the success.
To me, it's a success, bro. The success is me being. Jordan Peterson put it perfectly. Jordan Peterson said you should never be at competition with anyone except you from yesterday. As long as you're better than the you from yesterday, you're good. You're
That's a
moving
fact.
forward.
That's a fact.
And people are constantly looking at people who are in completely different situations than them. People who have different opportunities. People who have different like luck factors. They're different, completely different human beings, and they're comparing themselves, who are unique in their own selves, to other people who are in their own little lane, and they're using that to gauge if they're on the right path or not.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. It's
don't do
you,
that.
man. It's only you. And as long as you're looking at, okay, what did I do yesterday? What did I do today? Okay, today I learned a bit more than yesterday. Today I accomplished a bit more. Today I learned. I feel like I did something today, and I'm moving forward closer to my goal.
That's the
as long
pursuit
as
of
you're
growth.
doing that, you're successful. Niggas just looking for that stimulus, right? The dopamine. As long as they're not getting it, they feel like they're not
doing
And
achieving
I was
anything.
telling you yesterday, like before we had all this, we searched for novelty through growth, right?
Yeah.
Through struggle. We need
the
hunting,
new
whatever.
river, so we can find water.
Exactly, new land, all that, new tribes, communities.
But now we don't need that anymore.
We don't need that. We
Yeah.
have our phones,
Yeah.
and that's all the novelty we
We
need.
don't need that anymore, but that mechanism is still there, and we haven't evolved out of that physiologically. So the niggas who know that are using that to
get
abuse
money
it, to
out of
get
it.
money
Yeah.
and profit
Hypnosis.
off it. It's fucking crazy.
And the Huxley quote you sent me, that's what I was alluding to. It's like, oh, like they're being hypnotized by that one thing
conditioning.
that they're being conditioned by the dopamine, and they can't
Bro.
snap out of it because they're like, oh,
I just want more.
I need
want
that
more.
Wi-Fi, you know.
I need a
Okay.
Wi-Fi. I need more likes. I need to know a lot.
We're gonna wrap it up here. Holy
Ugh.
shit,
How
we've been
long?
here 57 minutes, guys.
Oh,
That's pretty average. Come on.
Really?
I mean,
exaggerate it.
we've done. Nah, dude, this did not feel like 57 minutes to me.
yeah.
That's true.
This is good talk.
feels
Bro.
like-
It's opening your mind.
55 maybe.
Yeah,
I would not. Yeah,
know.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
For 53 to me, man.
I'm reading Brave New World right now by Aldous Huxley. We got the books. Funny that you actually found that
Yeah,
book
yo, that's
like a few
trippy
days
shit, bro.
later.
Everything like
The amount of
yo, the
synchronicity
last
that's been-
week.
Yeah,
bro, I'm saying.
The amount
You
of-
bought the book without knowing that you both.
No. I bought the book. I think we went to Montreal. Went Saturday.
Fucking
I bought
blast
the book.
Montreal.
I bought the book Friday, which is when I bought
No
this.
way, you
also.
bought the book Friday.
I bought the book Friday. Saturday we go to this like thrift store. We go to the book section, and then we're looking for shit. And then he's randomly like, "Oh yeah, let me see if like Brave New World is here," because I was telling him to read it too. And then Tim comes out of nowhere. Cassius, I don't know if you know him.
Oh yeah, I've seen him.
He comes
was
out
at PSA.
Yeah, he comes out of nowhere, and then he's like, "Yeah, I found it somewhere over there." And it's just like a day difference. I was
Yeah.
telling him the day I got it to get it, so we could talk about it and read it together, so we could talk about it on the podcast. And the day after, he just sees it. And then
Yo, fate.
what was that? We were reading the feng shui book, and then some
Oh
other
my-
thing
yo,
happened.
That shit clicked so hard with us. What was it? Yeah. Kayla and Tim were talking about how where the sun is, where it sets.
Yeah.
And,
They were asking us where the sun sets. Was it east, west, north, west, or whatever?
And then 2 minutes later, flipped 2 pages.
And it was
Feng
in the
shui
book.
is- yeah.
It
And
was
then
just
the
weird
book
as
says
fuck.
the sun sets.
Bro,
And
like
we're
oh,
the
what?
the first 3 seconds I met this guy, he was like, "Yo, your feng shui is sick, bro."
Yeah, I was like, oh, fuck, let's go.
I was like, "Whoa."
Yo, because
Yo.
that's weird. Because that happened to me and my sister too. Because like,
it's so sketch.
she was like, "Yo, are you reading any books right now?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm reading this book called Essentialism." She's like, "Whoa, shut the fuck up." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm reading this book called Essentialism." It's like
Funny,
that's crazy.
That's
'cause-
in my wish list.
Yeah, because she
on,
was reading the
Amazon.
same book, and which is weird because my sister's in Switzerland and I'm here. So there was no way of communicating that, yo, I'm gonna pick up this book.
fucking
And then
crazy.
it's fucking crazy. I was like, yo, you're reading the same book at the same
Yo,
time.
that just
And
goes
it's
like
it's
that.
wild.
Man. Quantum
It's wild.
shit, like quantum
Oh,
physics
dude,
and
we're
shit.
just
like,
getting into that. We don't even know that yet.
and morphic fields.
We're just now
my
starting to study the shit we
God.
can't see,
Oh yeah.
which is like the quantum physics. Niggas trying to make quantum computers. And it's funny because we think we know. Every time we think we know shit,
We don't
some
know
new
enough.
shit comes
Yeah.
around
We
that
don't
just
know
makes us, that just checks us.
hmm
But yeah, thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna just like sit in front of the thing because I can.
Me too, me
Thank you
too.
guys.
Hey, I
Oh
wanna
shit.
stand
Oh shit. Thank you guys for
Stand on the
listening.
table?
I don't even know if I
Okay,
sound good.
what's good, yo?
The mic is off. Nigga, you're moving shit.
Okay, I gotta.
Thank you guys.
I can do
Thank you
whatever I
guys for
want.
listening.
Wait, I'm trying to be in the shot.
shit.
Let us know what you think of this.
Wait, I'm trying to be in a position that I look
Thank
sexy.
you, Tino. Thank you, Tino, for coming. Oh shit.
What's good?
Thank you, Tino, for coming.
I think today I was more anonymous YP than Tino, so.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Anonymous YP, for coming through and speaking to us. If you want to come and guest and be a guest, be our guest.
Then first give us money.
And give us money first, always, of course. Bye bye.
Anytime.
Give us money.